Good morning, good morning. It is another beautiful Sunday morning. We are blessed to be before you with Beyond the Well once again. We're broadcasting live from Hopewell Church in Jacksonville, Florida. I am Naomi.
And I'm Levy. Beyond the Well is a social interactive broadcast in which we address the internet audience as well as the congregation here today. And we discuss different topics as they pertain to the Christian community. So check us out on Facebook and YouTube, and we'll be there. So today's topic is in but not of. How can you be in the world but not of the world?
So I was thinking about this topic, Levy, and we both have grown up in the church. There are so many of these various Christian sayings that people have, right? Some of them are based in scripture. Some of them may come from a song. Some of them Christians may just make up. They just like to rhyme and, make poems and stuff.
Right.
But this is one of them, the fact that, we're called to be in the world but not of the world. I remember hearing this when I was very young, and I never quite got it. I understood the part about being physically present in the world, but being not of the world. It took some pondering to really understand what that meant. Are we foreigners? Are we aliens? Do we not belong here? What does that really mean? So we wanted to talk about it today.
That's right, Naomi. And just to kind of open that up a little bit, basically we're talking about being amongst the sinners of the world, but avoiding the sin of the world. So I guess the best example of that is going to work. You're a believer, you believe in Jesus Christ, but you go to work and maybe there are people of different faiths, or different beliefs, I should say, different backgrounds and things of that nature, but you're amongst them, but you don't believe the same thing that they believe. Even in your neighborhood sometimes. You don't know if your neighbor is saved or even the people down the block, but you are. So you're in that, but you're not, you're among them, but you're not of them. So you don't practice the same things that they practice and things like that.
Right, we're set apart. So, and we know that there are several references to this phrase throughout the scriptures. One of them in John 17, and Jesus is praying to the Father the night before his crucifixion, and Jesus is praying, and he says, I have given them your word, and the world has hated them, for they are not of the world any more than I am of the world. My prayer is not that you take them out of the world, but that you protect them from the evil one. So the same way that Jesus was sent into the world by God to be an example, a holy example, the same way we are sent into the world. We're here, we're called to be set apart, we're physically present, but we're separate from its values, from the world's values.
That's right, Naomi. And another, I guess, something to add on to that as well. Matthew chapter 5, verse 13 through 16, Jesus calls us the salt and the light. So if you go back and read that, it's really good. But if you read verse 16, it says, let your light so shine before men that they may see your good works and glorify your Father which is in heaven. So basically, letting our light shine for us it really speaks for us. We don't have to, and I'm not knocking anybody who has these, but, bumper stickers, and we got the big giant cross for a bookmark and things like that. And there's nothing wrong with that, but can people identify us as Christians even if we don't say that we're Christian? That's one of the things that we want to remember. When we're a mature Christian, then our light just shines for us. I remember, there have been times where I've been in circles where people are passing around a cell phone with a joke or something that people are listening to, and it's got some cussing in it, and a lot of it, but it's funny. So people pass it around, and then when they get to Levy, they go, hey, Levy, never mind. I know you probably don't want to listen to this, and they just keep it moving. And when I see it, I go, oh, okay, well, that's cool, no problem. I feel okay about that. Now, on the flip side, oh, Levy, we got this joke for you, man. You're going to love it. And I hear it. It's got cussing in it. I get offended. And I don't necessarily get offended because they gave it to me. I'm more so offended at myself thinking, what is it about me and my walk and my quote-unquote light that didn't shine to stop them from wanting to bring that to me? So just like it's with jokes, it can be with anything. So that light will speak for us before people even get to us if we're doing the things that we need to be doing.
Yeah, that's good. That's a good reminder. We are called to be set apart and different, the salt of the earth. And it's a daily commitment, something we have to think about every day because we're interacting with non-believers all the time. You brought up the example of work, right? And that's often, stressful times where we're dealing with other people. I found myself in a situation just last week where it was a frustrating moment at work. I was on a deadline. I was caught between two leaders with conflicting priorities, and it was just a stressful moment for me. So I was bringing a coworker up to speed on something we were working on and telling her about this situation, and she says to me, "But you're still smiling." And I thought about that afterward, and it's really about keeping our perspective, right? Knowing that we are in this world for a temporary time. This is our temporary home. And know that for eternity we'll be with God. That's what we're striving for. We're in this world right now, but we know something greater is coming. So keeping that perspective and always being mindful of the fact that people are watching us. We should be living our life in a way that is different, that people are curious about, that people are wondering, well, how is it that you can still be smiling when you're going through this stress? That's how we should be living our lives.
That's right, Naomi. That's right. And I remember it was actually in February of this year, we had one of our ministers come up, and he was doing a sermon similar to this topic, but he was saying sometimes we get the opportunity to go before God as kind of like his, like in some of these shows that you go to, they send out the first act to kind of warm up the crowd or whatever before the main attraction comes.
Oh, so we should be Jesus' hype man?
Well, kind of, sort of, I guess. But it's similar to that. I mean, before people get to Christ, they're going to see us first. And then in knowing us and seeing how we live our lives, they're like, well, how can I get some more of this? Now, the last thing that I want is for someone to look at me and say, if this is how Jesus' people act, if this is how God's people act, and I don't want any parts of that. And then that just, it shuts up the kingdom. Another thing that I was looking at when I was studying was that the lifestyle of sinners should never be validated by us. And what happens is sometimes if I'm living buck wild and doing whatever, I'll hang with Naomi knowing that she's saved and she's Christian, and that'll make me feel better because, hey, Naomi's Christian, and she, because she's hanging out with me, she stamps that and approves of that, and I'm good to go, versus me being validated by them, because if they cuss all the time and do these kinds of things, and then they come around me and say, "Oh, Levy, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to slip and do that, I apologize," or they clean up their jokes a little bit because they respect the Christ that's in you. That's our validation. We shouldn't validate the sinner's lifestyle.
Yep. Good point. So, and we also have to remember, too, that being in the world doesn't mean that we can't enjoy the things of the world. God has created a number of beautiful things. Creation all around us is a beautiful thing. We can enjoy that being in the world, but we're not to immerse ourselves in what the world values, because we value something different. We value our relationship with Christ, where our home is in eternity. And so, over time, as we mature as Christians, our hearts will be less interested in the things of the world because we're striving to be more like Jesus. So that's something to keep in mind as well.
That's right, Naomi. I mean, just because we're in the world and not of it and we're set apart doesn't mean, like you said, we can't enjoy some of these things. I mean, iPhones and things like that. I think Steve Jobs, I don't think he was Christian. He might have been Buddhist or something like that. But we still use iPhones and things. We don't know who made the umbrella or what type of, faith he had, but we appreciate him when it rains and things like that. Our clothing, we don't know the lifestyle of people who made these clothes, and we see some of the people who are involved in fashion, but we wear clothing. So it doesn't mean we can't enjoy those things. We just kind of have that. We kind of have to have that balance of spiritual and natural.
Right. So we just ultimately want to leave everyone with this. Think about your daily walk. Think about your daily commitment to Christ. Are you that light in a dark place? We're in this world, but we're not to be conformed to the world. We're not to be of the world. So it's something we consider every day.
That's right.
So with that, we'll go ahead and get ready for Pastor's sermon. We ask everyone to go ahead and turn to Joshua chapter 3, verses 2 through 4, and the sermon is entitled, How to Get Over.
And until that time, be that light. And we at Beyond the Well encourage you to go beyond your comfort zone, beyond your community.
And beyond the well.
Thank you.
Thanks.